1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I can. Although it looks like people are literally still pouring in.
Part of a political alliance of Algonquin-speaking tribes ruled by the Powhatan. These included the Rappahannock, Potowatomi, and Manahoac.
About 1000 BCE, people first moved into the Rappahannock River Valley. These early inhabitants were hunters, gatherers who followed the migratory patterns of animals. After about 200 CE, settlers increased dramatically. By about 1600, the Rappahannock tribe's capital was located in the present location of the Tappahannock. The tribe maintained villages along the river as far west as our present location.
The Rappahannock people probably first encountered the English in 1603, when Captain Samuel Mace sailed up the Rappahannock River, killed the Rappahannock chief, and taking a group of Rappahannock men back to England. English invasion of the Northern Neck began the end of the native people's tenure as attacks, displacement, disease, and assimilation diminished and destroyed communities.
Today, we honor the first inhabitants of this land. We give thanks for their stewardship of the flora and fauna that we enjoy today. We mourn the violent taking of their ancestral homeland and the destruction of their cultural heritage. We acknowledge that this land holds many histories, great stories, and the blood of a people.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you. I am Karen Calais. I'm a female, and I will be your worship associate this morning. Here at UUFF, we come together, both in person, Yahoo, and online as one community. We live to nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, create compassionate relationships, and lovingly transform our community and the world. If you're joining us as a guest or first-time visitor here in the building or online, we are glad you are here. Those in the building are invited to leave contact information at the welcome table in the foyer. And for those of you joining us online, you're invited to visit the worship portal on our website at uuffxbg.org and fill out our connection card. Whether in person or online, this will allow our ministers and staff to get in contact with you in the week to come. Everyone is invited to fill out a card about a personal, significant joy or concern that you would like shared during the service. For those in person, you may pick up and leave your card at the Joys and Concerns table in the foyer. For those joining us online, you are once again invited to visit our worship portal on our website and fill out the Joys and Concerns form. Our pastoral care team member collects the in-person cards here today to read during the service. For those online, your joys and concerns will be read during the next service. And please join us afterwards, normally for coffee and conversation, but today, a feast. In the spirit of greeting, I invite us all to greet one another now, and if you're online, please share your greetings on the online chat.
Hello, y'all. Glad you could come. Is there any smell to that? No. I think it's fake, but it looks pretty. Hello, good to see you. Sure.
Yeah, but those rows.
Oh, just taking it easy. Hello, hi y'all. Hey, look at me. The slides are great.
Well, if you're able to stay afterwards, you're going to get lots of chance to visit. It really is good to see so many of you.
Just some of you got to put another place to put the hope because the sun just blinds it. I just moved inside, but there's nothing we can do. Did you not do the child's rose?
Good morning, everyone. Hey, I'm Reverend Doug McCusker, and I use he, him pronouns, and I am the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. Welcome to our pre-Thanksgiving service, and if you are so inclined, there is another one this evening at 6 p.m. at the United Methodist Church, and that will be an interfaith service. And Roddy and I will be participating, as will our colleagues from various different denominations. So it is at 6 o'clock at the Fredericksburg United Methodist Church. I hope some of you can come. I'm going to read you an excerpt from Native Hope. The mainstream version of the Thanksgiving story paints a picture of courageous Christian settlers braving the perils of the New World, and with the help of some friendly natives, finding a way to making a new life for themselves. Most of us are only taught this brief snapshot in American history, which leaves a frozen memory of peace and generosity. However, in a short time after these Thanksgiving events, circumstances and relationships between the European settlers and the Native American tribes drastically changed. Unfortunately, very few Americans know about the massacres of native tribes like the Pequot, which took place a few years after the Thanksgiving feast, or that English settlers robbed Wampanoag tribes and stole food from them to survive during their first years on this new continent. It is important to know that for many Native Americans, Thanksgiving is a day of protest and mourning, since it commemorates the arrival of settlers in North America and the centuries of oppression and genocide that followed. Organized by the United American Indians of New England in 1970, the fourth Thursday in November is recognized as the National Day of Mourning for Native Americans and their allies. Many people gather at Coles Hill in Plymouth for an organized rally and a day of mourning on Thanksgiving. Here's what they have to say about their choice to mourn. Thanksgiving Day is a reminder of the genocide of millions of Native people, the theft of Native lands, and the relentless assaults on Native culture. Participants in National Day of Mourning honor Native ancestors and the struggles of Native peoples to survive today. It is a day of remembrance and spiritual connection, as well as a protest of the racism and oppression which Native Americans continue to experience. That's actually on a plaque right there in Plymouth. Now, while some Native Americans have chosen to reject the Thanksgiving holiday entirely, many embrace the positive messages of the day and choose to put aside thoughts about its complex history. This is because the idea of giving thanks is central to Native heritage and culture. In this way, Thanksgiving is simply a chance to appreciate the good things in life, like family, community, and the riches of the land. Long before settlers arrived, Native tribes celebrated the autumn harvest and the gift of Mother Earth's abundance. Native American spirituality, traditionally and today, emphasizes gratitude for creation, care for the environment, and recognition of the human need for communion with nature and others. So come, let us worship together.
Good morning. If you have one of the great hymnals, we're going to sing together hymn number 67. Hymn number 67 will also have the words up on the screen. If you're able, please join us standing. If not, join us any way that you can. We sing now together.
The song lyrics.
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in good which the ages have wrought, for life that unfolds us and helps and heals and holds us and leads beyond the goals of the forbear once saw. We sing of the freedoms which martyrs and heroes have won by their labor, their sorrow, their pain, the oppressed befriending, our ampler hopes defending. Their death becomes a triumph, they die not in vain. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times and names and places. We'll pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand.
Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Do you want me to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Just walk around the table.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Roddy Bell Shelton Biggs. My pronouns are they and them. And I have the honor of serving this fellowship as your intern minister. This morning, our time for all ages is going to be a little bit different. So I invite everyone to stay where they are. And I have a question for you. Who knows what two-spirit means? Or have you heard it? We have 1, 2, 3. Can someone who knows what it means shout it out, and I'll repeat it into the mic? We heard it was a Native American notion of having both genders recognized. So it's another way of talking about trans and intersex people. And I name that today, as tomorrow is Trans Day of Remembrance. Like Reverend Doug said, tonight you'll have the opportunity at 6 p.m. to join us with our interfaith colleagues and members at First United Methodist Church downtown. And tomorrow at 6 p.m., there is an opportunity to once again join with our interfaith community downtown at Market Square for a remembrance of all of the trans lives that have been lost. And here at UUFF, Reverend Doug is currently walking around handing out a double-sided sheet of paper which talks about our welcoming congregation renewal process, which we voted to do for our social justice initiative at our last annual meeting. So what that means for us here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg is that as we continue to nurture welcome, as we continue to foster beloved community, we do so by welcoming all people. And for LGBTQ people, there is a program put out by the UUA, the Unitarian Universalist Association, called the Welcoming Congregation Program. And there are 5 ways that every year we show our welcome. So if you have gotten one of those sheets that Reverend Doug has passed out, I'm going to be talking some about that, and we'll also be sending out an email to everyone with all of this. And it's important that we do this today, not only because of Trans Day of Remembrance tomorrow, but because it takes a critical mass of the congregation, of the fellowship, to become and to maintain welcoming congregation status. So what better day to do it than when you are all here for Thanksgiving? So, the first one, easy. Become a welcoming congregation. Check. We did it in the early 2000s. So, congratulations. Step 1 is done. Step 2, host welcoming worship services. These are things like National Coming Out Day services in October. They are things like having a Pride service in June. They are things like an interfaith service that is happening tomorrow. So check, we're doing that as well. Honoring welcoming days of observance. Again, these can be National Coming Out, they can be Pride, it can be HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, which is on December 1st. These can be done inside of service. They can also be done by a social media post by your staff. Just uplifting and naming that these exist. Again, we're already doing this. Welcoming congregation modules, religious education, our program. Any program that we do that talks about gender, sexuality in a RE model, we'll check this box. Those programs put out by the UUA, which we might be doing in next year, and there's some other ways that we can approach this. But again, we're doing it. And support welcoming projects. Here at UUFF, we have a LGBTQ youth sanctuary that meets every month here in the building on the third Fridays of the month from 6 to 9 p.m. We have volunteers from this community and from many of our interfaith community partners as well. So we are supporting that project, and our shoulder plates often go to LGBTQ organizations. So check, we are doing this. So you might be wondering what the renewal process looks like if we are checking all of the boxes already. What it means is that we have to continue doing it. We have to be able to monitor and name how we are doing that. So what's going to happen next is over the next month or so and into the new year, I'm going to be coming to all of our committee meetings, organizations, and partners, and naming what each one of these means for your group of people. And you're going to be hearing so much more about welcoming congregation every Sunday throughout the week and in our emails and newsletters, that by the end of this, and when the vote comes in May, we know what it means to be a welcoming congregation. And we know what that rainbow banner out front means when we say that all bodies are holy, sacred, and good. So, I also did not name that this is my leadership initiative at my seminary, Meadville Lombard Theological. So I really do need all of you to make sure that that goes off, and also to help me help you serve the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg and our larger community, so that all people, LGBTQ or not, know that they are welcome here, that when they come through our doors, that we will see them, honor them, and love them into being. So do I have your commitment to continue the welcoming congregation renewal process, to be certified as a welcoming congregation at our next annual meeting, and to continue that recertification every year to come? If so, say yes.
Yes.
I'm going to hold you to it. Take a deep breath, beloveds, as you finish arriving here and now. We know that this time of year, a time of thanksgiving and mourning, a time of preparation for the busyness of the holidays, comes not without lamentation, without grief and pain and sorrow and uncertainty. So settle in to your bodies. Spirit of life and love, great unfolding mystery, known to some as the breeze, others as God, and still others nothing at all, yet the resonance in their body and their heart. We come before you knowing that there is pain in the world, knowing that there is conflict in the world, knowing that a war in Palestine and Israel is still raging on, knowing that we don't know what to do, knowing that there may be nothing we can do. We come before you knowing that people are hurting, are seeking community, and are not sure where to find it. We come before you knowing that the holidays are hard for those who, for whatever reason, have been made to feel less than welcome in their families. We come before you knowing that this community holds a complex identity, complex emotions, family systems that perhaps each of us do not understand, and yet we come together to love, to renew, to try to make sense and meaning when we do not understand what is going on in the world or the complexity of it in which we find ourselves. So may it be so. Ashe.
And we come together as a community with deep gratitude in our hearts. There is so much beauty in this world. There is so much love in this world. And we are the love and the beauty that we want to see in this world. We come grateful for the butterflies and the rainbows and the animals and plants that give us the energy that we need to survive and to sustain. And we give thanks for that exchange of energy. We give thanks for the smiles that we see across the table. We give thanks for all the things that we've been handed down through the ages and from our mentors and our family and our friends and even people we don't know. We are complex. We can mourn and lament, and we can also be thankful and rejoice. And today is a day of mourning and thanksgiving. May it be so.
Sparrow is serenading me, brand new melodies, songs so sweet. The rose's aroma is flying in the breeze. I close my eyes, breathing deep. Yesterday is gone. Today I can see. Oh, today I can see. My, for the very first time I wave goodbye, bye to what used to weigh me down. Oh, my, everything's alright. The sun is shining down. I'm looking all around, and this is just so beautiful. This is just so beautiful. I felt forgiveness in the deep recesses of my soul. I was so empty, now I'm full, I'm whole. The world is cold and so very, very cruel, but the sparrow and the roses remind me there's still so much good. Yesterday's gone. Today I can see. Oh, today I believe. My, for the very first time I wave goodbye, bye to what used to This is just my, for the very first time. I wave goodbye, bye, bye to what used to weigh me down. Oh, my, everything's alright. The sun is shining down. I'm looking all around, and this is just so beautiful.
I will let Laura Joy know that we clapped. America's relationship with the first people who inhabited this continent is not a happy one. The various Thanksgiving stories tell tales of sharing and reciprocity that helped the early settlers survive those first tumultuous years in their new home across the sea. The stories celebrate the generosity of the native people and the compassion of our common humanity. These are indeed qualities worth honoring. Of course, there were times of cooperation and friendship between the tribes and the colonists. There were lots of intermingling, trade, and good relations. But they never seemed to last for long. It is insufficient to make a holiday around a glorified moment in time if you don't also tell the full story. Within a decade of the Thanksgiving feast in Plymouth, Massachusetts, the colonists fought a brutal war of annihilation with the Pequot and Wampanoag tribes in Massachusetts. The same thing happened in Virginia as the British destroyed the Powhatan Federation and pushed the Rappahannock and Potawatomi tribes off their land. If you study the history of the indigenous people of America, it is very sad what happened to them. How the land of their forebears was taken from them by bloody conquest, manipulation, and broken promises. How the land was bought and sold and dug up and deforested and plundered for greed. Or how their sacred sibling, the buffalo, was decimated from the tens of millions to near extinction in only 100 years to feed an insatiable industrial market for their fur. Or how disease, racism, and ethnic cleansing wiped out many tribes and nearly erased the language and culture of a proud people who had coexisted on this continent for thousands of years. In less than 300 years, a mere blink of an eye in the grand scheme of time, the so-called white man had subjugated the native people and pushed them into the reservations on land that no one wanted. But if gold or oil was found under them, once again, they were driven from their land. This is part of the American story. It cannot be swept under the rug as if it never happened. It is horrific and as grim as any story can be. And it is one that all of us who call ourselves Americans share, even if our ancestors arrived after the deed was done. Because we are the inheritors of the status quo that is built upon this history and herstory. So what do? Well, it's complicated. We can respond with guilt and shame, internalize our feelings, and avoid exposure to the truth. But all that does is freeze our hearts and arrest our human development. That would make us susceptible to repeating this kind of behavior in a different form. Or we can accept what has happened and let our emotions be free to lament and feel the pain of loss over what has been done. We can seek out the stories told by the indigenous people themselves and try to understand the overarching lessons about the underlying roots that lead good people to do bad things. We can form accountable relationships with the indigenous people right here in East Central Virginia and listen to what they need to repair the harm, not just on their culture, but on the land that we all inhabit together. We can learn from their deeply ingrained wisdom about how to live sustainably in harmony with our natural world. And indeed, that is what is happening. Now that more and more people are realizing that our capitalist, industrial economy has natural limits beyond which no one can fully predict the outcome, and that we risk destroying this beautiful balance of life that all beings depend on, the descendants of colonization are turning to the indigenous people once again and seeking their wisdom for how to live sustainably. It's kind of like the Thanksgiving story of survival 2.0. And not just how to live within an ecological balance, but a spiritual balance in which we honor our interdependence with all life now and many generations to come. Indigenous thought leaders and teachers like Robin Wall Kimmerer tell us that it begins with gratitude. When we make gratitude our priority, it completely changes how we perceive the world around us. Gratitude is grounded in humility, acknowledging that we receive what we need from others. It reminds us every day that we have enough, more than enough. Everything needed to sustain life is already here. In the elementary schools of the Onondaga Reservation, the children don't recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the American Republic. They pledge their allegiance to gratitude for all that they have. It is a long Thanksgiving address, about 10 minutes long, that has been handed down from many generations. It is said that the people were instructed to stand and offer the Thanksgiving address in their native tongue whenever they gathered before anything else was done. Here's how it starts. Today we have gathered, and when we look upon the faces around us, we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now, let us bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. As I said, it's very long, so I won't read the whole thing, but they thank Mother Earth, the waters of the world, the fish who provide themselves as food, the plants and medicines, the trees and animals, and their ancestors. It ends with, we turn our thoughts to the Creator, our Great Spirit, and send greetings, thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of gratitude to the Creator. Now our minds are one. The children, all the way up from first grade, say it every day. And by the time they become adults, they have learned to make their decisions within a culture of gratitude and reciprocity. They understand that all beings are bound to each other, and that they have a duty to sustain life just as it sustains them. These are people who have endured great sorrow and atrocities, and yet they remain grateful. They teach us that we can mourn the loss and still give thanks for all that we have. So may we live every day with gratitude in our hearts. And may the beauty of this world inspire us to live sustainably so that it may be enjoyed long after we are gone. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. During the offertory, you were invited to come forward and silently place a pebble into the bowl. Well, we'll have to move the bowl, won't we? And you can place a pebble into the bowl for any joys and concerns that you are holding in your heart. When you give to the UUFF, you help us nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, and lovingly transform our community and the world. That's our mission. For those gathered in person, greeters will be coming around with a basket for donations. All are also invited to donate via text message to the number 844-963-2785. You can see it on the screen now. Or you may visit our website at uuffxpg.org/giving. This Sunday is a Share the Plate Sunday. The recipient this week is the Fredericksburg Area Food Bank. In this season of food and family, we must keep the individuals and families who would go hungry in our thoughts. And it is because of those thoughts that we support the mission of our food bank in serving food to those in distress. Our offertory will now be gratefully received.
May all that has been shared here and freely given help us grow in generosity and care of the world in which we are a part.
Good morning. My name is Jackie Arthur, and I'm a member of the Pastoral Care Team. This is the time in our service for sharing personal matters that you want this community to hold in our hearts. We have a concern from Kit Carver. Paula Barnett is back in the hospital. She was readmitted yesterday for continuing gallbladder pains. Ray Davis is in the hospital and has been for a week following the fall, an internal bleed. He expects to be discharged this week. Hold both of those people in your hearts. Elaine Callender, please keep Linda Bergman in your thoughts as we send well wishes. She's been struggling with lingering bronchitis and asthma. We have a couple joys. Don White wants to thank everyone in this community who all stepped up and helped pass out sample ballots at the polls. And I have a joy, my son, who has been able to maneuver the German bureaucratic system and get a residency report, a residency card, so he can come visit me at Christmas. So I'm very happy. In addition to those joys and concerns that have been shared, let's take a few moments to quietly be present with all concerns and joys that may not have been spoken.
Take your teal hymnal and turn to hymn number 1010, 1010, We Give Thanks. If you're able, I invite you to join us standing and join us singing, We Give Thanks.
Our closing words today may sound a little familiar to you who came up in different traditions, particularly the Christian tradition. This is the New Zealand Maori people's version of the Lord's Prayer. Eternal Spirit, Earth Maker, Pain Bearer, Life Giver, Source of all that is and all that shall be, Father and Mother of us all, loving God in whom is heaven. The hallowing of your names echo through the universe. The way of your justice be followed by the peoples of the world. Your will be done by all created beings. Your commonwealth of peace and freedom sustain our hope and come on earth. With the bread we need today, feed us. In the hearts we absorb from one another, forgive us. From the hurts that we absorb from one another, forgive us. In times of temptation and test, strengthen us. From trials too great to endure, spare us. From the grip of all that is evil, free us. In your glory of the power that is love, now and forever. Amen.
Please join me in reading in unison our words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of love and service. May it be a catalyst for spiritual growth and social justice as we carry it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. In peace, serve the world, return again in love.
Please remain seated, and then we have some instructions for you. And please enjoy the beautiful postlude.
Hey, good morning.